back to the Walleye Files. Brandon Ruffalo here with Mr. Dan McGuire. He's going to give us a fantastic fishing report on the Mississippi River. Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, Brandon. How are you?
I'm fantastic, buddy.
You set the bar pretty high. A fantastic report. I'll do my best.
I'm sure it'll be just fine.
Good.
Before we start, Dan, guys, if you guys don't know who Dan is, he is a guide on the Mississippi River. He owns Big River Angling Adventures. Dan, why don't you just get all your social media and everything else out of the way, so if people need to get a hold of you, they can.
Absolutely. So I don't have a ton of social media accounts. My biggest one is my Facebook page, and it is Big River Angling Adventures. And the best way to get a hold of me is via cell phone. My number 715-308-5237. Text or call, and we'll get you out on the Mississippi River.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. That's perfect. So Dan, what's the bite like right now?
The bite is fantastic right now. It really is. Right now, I would say the bite's as good as it's been all year. And the nice thing about the bite right now for this, early summer, this post-spawn bite that we've got going on is there's fish being caught everywhere on all kinds of different presentations, so it really is. It's a lot of fun to be on the river right now.
Yeah, so let's think about those presentations. Obviously, live bait rigging with willow cats or crawlers. I'm guessing trolling cranks and even possibly trolling some spinner style baits, maybe a crawler harness, something like that. What's been really your go-to lately?
That depends on the day, Brandon. It's dependent on the day. It's dependent on the weather, wind direction, all of that kind of stuff. But you nailed it there. It is. There's a great bite going on the lake right now on Lake Pepin, and two kind of key locations or two key focus spots for us is Main Lake Points. And so the Main Lake Points are holding a good population of fish and some real quality fish. And they're the number one presentation that's been working in my boat is pulling live bait rigs and 3-wing with live bait. And any given day it's different. One day it's crawlers, the next day it's leeches, another day it's willow cats, and some days it's chubs. So it's definitely putting a smorgasbord in the water for them and letting them decide what they want to eat that day. But so that would be one of the presentations that's been hot on Lake Pepin itself right now. And the other presentation that's been hot on Lake Pepin has been trolling crankbaits. And so for me, that crank trolling bite has just started to kick off. And there, it's very much using inline boards, line counter reels, all of that kind of stuff, and putting the rake in the water and covering water and putting that those baits in front of as many fish as possible.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's been the key, at least for me on the lake. Using your electronics, making sure that you're relying on your electronics on the point, using electronics to maintain the appropriate depth, and then also using like the active target to almost chase down some of those fish that you're seeing on the active target, so that you're dragging your 3-ways and that through the right fish. For the crankbait trolling bite, it again utilizing your electronics. Now it's your side imaging and your 2D sonar to locate the fish and then pinpoint the exact depth and to run your baits at, so you're putting them in contact with the fish. And with the crankbait trolling bite, one of the baits that's been just absolutely on fire for me has been the number 7 shaky shad. And so that definitely has been a hot bait in my boat this year.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Of course, the number 7 shaky shad, guys, Walleye Nation Creations. We want to thank our amazing sponsors, Walleye Nation Creations, Lake Effect Lures, and Striker Brands. All great companies, all do a little thing for a little bit for us, so we can do a little bit for everybody else. We can have guys like Dan on and give us awesome reports. Dan, where do you think this bite's going over the next 2 to 3 weeks?
You know what? I think this bite is just going to get better. I think you're going to get more of these fish filtering down through the system, more of these fish stacking up in some of these key locations. Again, I think both of the bites we just talked about are just going to continue to get better. And as that fish's metabolism and that keeps building, and that as our water continues to warm up, I also think we're getting a lot of rain over here right now, and our river levels are going to jump here in the next week from about 4.5 back up to 7. And so I think that having that extra flow and that extra water in the system is going to be good too. The other thing I thought I'd mention too is that for the guys that like fishing the river, that don't want to venture out onto Lake Pepin, that want to stay in the river itself, there's good bites in the river as well. Focusing on current seams and current breaks, and that in the river. Some of those fish in the river right now, obviously we're going to get a couple more feet of water, but right now those fish are ultra shallow, some of them. And there you can catch them a variety of ways. You can catch them on a Denver rig. You can get them pitching plastics at them. You can get them dragging a jig and a crawler, or pitching a jig and a crawler. And again, it's a fun time to fish spots in the river. The other day I caught fish on a spot I've driven past hundreds of times, maybe more, and have never stopped and fished it. I stopped and fished it, and there was fish on it. So it's a lot of fun to be on the river itself too, looking for those areas of current or current breaks.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, and one other bite, Brandon, I want to mention too. When you talk about where things are going in the next few weeks, I haven't taken advantage of it yet. I hope to hear, maybe this Friday, but I'm hearing some good reports that the wing dams are starting to fire too. And so that's a great summer pattern on Pool 4, is fishing wing dams. So I am hearing some pretty good reports that the dams are starting to fire.
Awesome. Hey guys,
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Dan, thank you so much for a great report. Guys, again, big river angling adventures. If you want to get out on the Mississippi River, Dan knows his stuff. He's doing a great job. He's catching some giant walleyes, and he would love to put you guys on some big fish.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dan. Go ahead.
No, you bet. I'm glad to be here. Glad to help out, and anything I can do to help folks catch fish on the Mississippi, I'm more than happy to lend a hand.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this report. Stick around, like, subscribe, follow us, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify for more awesome reports, more awesome information like this. Thanks again, Dan.
You bet. Thank you, Brandon.